Hello, ladies and gentlemen. Okay, so we are moving forward. We've started in part three. I think we've started laws of logarithms. Okay, so these are another two laws of logarithm, which is the power law and also the power of the base law. Okay, so in this case, it's just for you to see an example of what the general example. I can, like I said, that I can use any alphabet to represent. It's not compulsory that you use a particular alphabet. Okay, and I said that those alphabet, it means it means values. Okay, values of figures. You understand? Maybe 1 to 50, any value they can use. So for number three, we have power law. It's simple. In indices too, we also have power law in indices. So in logarithm, we also have power law. This is logarithm log m raised to power n base p. That's how you pronounce it. Log m raised to power n base p. Okay, so when you have log m raised to power n base p, what do? It means that this n you see here will move to the back of what? To the back of log. Okay, the n you see here move to the back of log, then you have it here. Okay, so it means this is n log m base p. Okay, so some people, some young minds, because they might not know how to pronounce all this, and that's why you see that I'm indicating it log m raised to power n base p. Okay, so the power law says that you move this power to the back of log, which is here now, n log m base p. Okay, so I can give an illustration for you to see how we can introduce this so from here now, I can say that I have my let's say example one. Okay, I have my, let's say I have log, let's say 7 raised to power 3 base, let's say base 8. Okay, log 7 raised to power 3 base 8. Okay, so in this case now, so what do we do here in this case? So all we just need to do is just to introduce the law. Okay, so I want us to, my intention is just to, for us to understand those law first. Okay, then we can now start solving general questions. So I try to give example on each of those laws so that you can understand better of what logarithm is all about, because there's no way you can escape logarithm. Okay, in your classes, in your tests, in your exams, because it's everywhere. You understand now? So now this example says log 7 raised to power 3. Okay, log 7 raised to power 3 base 8. So at the end of the day, this is the same thing as saying 3 log 7 base 8. It's as simple as that. You see that it's very, very simple. It's straightforward. You don't need to stress yourself. Okay, so like in part 3, we deal with addition law and subtraction law, but in part 4 here, we are dealing with power law and power of the bases. And in this case, if you know you've not gone through all those parts, please do, so that you can understand, you can comprehend what logarithm is all about. Okay, so if we look at example 2 here, we can look for another value that we can play around with. Okay, so it means that we can have, let's assume we have log, let me use log 5. Okay, so base, I can use any figure because we're just trying to give example of this power law. So log 5, let me say log 5 to base 9. Okay, so this log 5 is raised to power, let's say raised to power 2. Okay, so if you see something like this, don't be scared. So it's under logarithm. Okay, it's under logarithm. So it means log 5 raised to power 2 base 9. So what do we do? So the 2 comes to the back of log from the law of log. So this one is something as saying 2 log 5 to base what? To base 9. Okay, it's as simple as that. So if I give an example, let's say example number 3 now. Okay, I can say log, let's say 10 raised to power half. Okay, this is log 10 raised to power half base what? 2. So log 10 raised to power half base 2. So at the end of the day, we can have something like, we can follow the same procedure. So it means this half we are seeing here is coming to the back of what? Of log. So does still follow the same law that we're using. Okay, so it means that this will give us half log 10 base 2. Okay, so it means that will give us, let me rewrite that so that we can get the understanding of what this is all about. So this is the same thing as saying you can have log 10 base what? Base 2. So you see that this half has moved to the back of the log. Okay, so like now most times if you're solving, you can complete your L, but the mathematicians or the person marking your math already know that, okay, you are referring to logarithms. So most times always put your L so that they will know that yes, it's logarithm you are dealing with. So these are example of power law. It's very simple. It's straightforward. I can give you also decimal. Like in some cases we have decimal. We can have decimal. Like in the question I shared, we have what we call decimal. So those decimal, you can use it to represent, you can also use it in mathematics. Like now I can say log 0.25, okay, base, let me just say base 5. That's all raised to power. Let's say I can also use decimal here. Okay, it's still the same thing. I can say this is 0. What? 0.4. Do you see? So still apply the same principle. Like the question I shared, that was yesterday, if I'm not mistaken. So apply the same method, you will still get your answer. So you don't need to be, it's not compulsory that you see a particular figure, you can see fractions. This is decimal. You can also see fractions. So this is still the same thing as saying this number 4 is the same thing as saying this 0.4 will move to the back of what? To the back of the log based on the law. So this is the same thing as saying 0.4 log, okay, 0.25 base what? 5. So it's as simple as that. So it's very, very straightforward, and then it's something that is clear. So what we can now do is that we can move to the fourth law, which is the power law. So then at the end of the day, we can just say, okay, yes, we've concluded this part of of this of this presentation. So for power law, it means that we for the power law we can power of the basis. So it means in the base of logarithm, you can also have power, okay, for the base of logarithm. So you can also have power. So don't be scared. It's also straightforward. So, but let me just give an example of what I'm trying to say here. So the power of the basis. We've done the power law. This is the power of the basis. So for the power of the basis, you have, let's say we have log, okay? We have log, let's say 2. We have log 2 into base 2 raised to power 3. Okay, if you see this one now, this is log 2, okay, base 2 raised to power 3. That's how you pronounce it. Okay, log 2 base 2 raised to power 3. So you need to know the pronunciation very well so that at the end of the day you won't miss it. Okay, so you need to know the pronunciation very well. So that's log 2, okay, to base 2 raised to power 3. Okay, so at the end of the day, this is the same thing as saying follow the rule, follow the law. Look at the law from equation 2. So this is the same thing as saying 1 over 3, okay, 1 over 3, 1 over 3, 1 over 3, then 1 over 3 you have log 2 base 2. 1 over 3 you have log 2 base 2. It's as simple as that. So now if you look at this very well, if you see that this is you can see that this is my 3, this is my 3 here. Okay, so from my 3 here, I've moved it to the back of logarithm. But when I'm moving into the back of logarithm, it should be inverse. That is 1 over what? 1 over 3. Okay, so that's 1 over 3 log 2 base what? Base 2. So we can also still give example of what we have here. So I can also say this is example 1, example 2. I can say, okay, any value, it can be any value. It's not compulsory that it has to be 2, it has to be this value. So it can be any value. It can be decimal, it can be fractions. Okay, let's say log 2 whole number 1 over 4. Log 2 whole number 1 over 4 is base 0.5 all raised to power half. Okay, so this is the same thing now. This is the same thing as saying follow the law. Just to follow the law, because we are dealing with power of the basis. So it's the same thing as saying, what do we do? The inverse of the base power over 1 over 2 log, okay, 2 1 over 4 base 0.5. It's as simple as that. Okay, so it's the inverse of the power of the base, which is this. So, and don't forget, I've said it before, that this is the same thing as saying that you can have this same thing as saying the inverse law 1 divided by half is same thing as what? 2 over 1 log 2 1 over 4, like log 2 1 over 4 base 0.5. So if you look at this very well, this is the same thing as saying 2 log 2 1 over 4 0.5. So it's as simple as that. So these are example of the these are example of the power law and the power of the basis. So at the end of the day, this has been trashed. So what we'll just need to do is that we'll just have to gather, after we've solved all the power, all the laws in logarithm, then we can now solve questions and apply each of those laws all the time. Thank you and God bless. So continue to like, continue to comment, continue to share, so that at the end of the day we can we can reach a lot of young minds. Thank you.